Sarah had always been the kind of person who made the best out of every situation. A single mom to two energetic kids, she often felt like a tightrope walker, balancing work, family, and her own dreams. Her days started early with the sounds of breakfast frying in the pan and her children's laughter filling their small kitchen. She cherished every moment, even when it meant racing against the clock to get them ready for school before rushing off to her job as a receptionist at a local clinic. Life hadn't always been easy for Sarah. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. After her marriage ended, she found herself navigating a world that sometimes felt overwhelming. When she first became a single mom, tears were common as she worried about finances and how to provide a stable home. But Sarah was determined not to let her circumstances define her. With unwavering strength, she took on extra shifts and learned to fix things around the house herself, from leaky faucets to squeaky doors. Her small house had been a symbol of hope. It was far from perfect, with creaky floors and paint that needed refreshing. But it was theirs. It was a place where laughter echoed through the halls and where they could create new memories together. Every corner held the promise of new beginnings and adventures. Each evening after work, Sarah would sit with her kids on the old couch, reading stories or watching their favorite shows, a time filled with comfort and love. While juggling her responsibilities, Sarah dreamed of being more than just a hardworking single mom. She longed to find time for her own passions, art, writing, and even gardening. Sometimes, when everyone was asleep, she would sit at her kitchen table with a sketchbook in hand, creating images of far-off places and whimsical creatures that danced in her mind. These little moments were her escape from reality, a chance to breathe and remember what brought her joy. One sunny Saturday morning, Sarah decided it was time for a family adventure. It had been weeks since they explored their own home thoroughly and discovered its nooks and crannies. "Let's make today our treasure hunt day," she announced excitedly to her children, Mia and Noah. Their eyes sparkled with delight as they thought of all the fun they could have searching for hidden gems in their house. With laughter ringing in the air, they began their search in the attic, which was filled with boxes of old toys and forgotten memories from previous owners. Sarah smiled as she watched Mia pull out an old teddy bear covered in dust, while Noah insisted on checking each box for something special. The attic seemed like another world altogether, one filled with echoes of laughter from years gone by. As they rummaged through the remnants of past lives, Sarah couldn't help but feel a connection to those who lived there before them. Each item told a story, a framed picture of a smiling couple, faded love letters tied with ribbon, and even an antique lamp that flickered gently in the dim light. The attic felt like a treasure trove waiting to be explored. Then it happened. While moving a large box labeled Christmas decorations, Sarah noticed something strange in the corner of the attic wall. There it was, an old door that looked like it hadn't been opened in years. Curiosity bubbled inside her as she knelt down beside it. "Look at this," she called to Mia and Noah, who rushed over with wide eyes. "Is it locked?" Mia asked, peeking at the door with a mix of excitement and fear. Sarah tried turning the knob. It creaked, but didn't budge. Her heart raced as thoughts darted through her mind. What could be behind it? Was it just another empty room or something more mysterious? She pushed open the door with all her strength, surprised as it groaned slowly open. A gust of cool air brushed past them as they peered into the darkness beyond the threshold. "Should we go in?" Noah asked hesitantly. Of course, we can't leave any stone unturned. Sarah encouraged them with enthusiasm. Let's see what secrets this house has hidden. As they stepped inside together, holding hands tightly, Sarah realized that this moment could change everything for their family. A chance not only to discover something new, but also to bond even closer than before. The excitement tingled in the air as they crossed into the unknown. Little did they know that this hidden room would lead them on an unexpected path filled with stories waiting to be uncovered. Stories that could change how they looked at their home and themselves forever. The house Sarah purchased stood proudly on a quiet street, its charming character framed by tall oak trees that whispered secrets in the wind. It was an old Victorian with peeling paint and a sloping porch that sagged just enough to give it a welcoming, lived-in feel. When Sarah first laid eyes on it, she felt her heart skip a beat. There was something magical about this place. Its history seemed to reach out to her, inviting her to become part of its story. However, the house also had its quirks. The floors creaked underfoot like they were sharing long-held secrets with anyone who walked upon them. In the evenings, shadows danced along the walls as sunlight streamed through stained glass windows, casting colorful patterns that delighted Mia and Noah. But at night, those same shadows could transform into something different, making Sarah wonder if she was truly alone in her new home. As Sarah entered through the front door for the first time, she felt a mix of excitement and unease wash over her. She could almost hear echoes of laughter from children who once lived there, and the faint scent of old wood mixed with dust reminded her that each room had its own tales yet to be told. With every step deeper into the house, her imagination sparked like fireworks. What had happened here before? Who had shared joyous moments within these walls? The living room boasted a grand fireplace with intricate carvings. It was adorned with soot from many winters spent warming families throughout the years. Sarah envisioned cozy nights gathered around it with her children as they shared stories or roasted marshmallows during chilly evenings. Yet, every time she glanced at the flickering flames or heard the crackling logs, an odd shiver would run down her spine. Was it just an old house settling, or something more? The kitchen was filled with vintage charm. A large farmhouse sink and cabinets that seemed too tall for any adult to reach without a stool. A small window overlooked the backyard, where wildflowers grew in an unruly patchwork. It felt like a perfect spot for baking cookies on rainy days or having heartfelt conversations over breakfast. Still, there were signs of neglect. Cabinets squeaked when opened and needed a touch of paint to bring them back to life. Sarah often found herself daydreaming about bringing new energy into this place, while also feeling overwhelmed by the projects ahead of her. The wallpaper in some rooms curled at the edges like it had given up fighting against time. Every scrape against wall corners made her heart race as she wondered how much work lay ahead to restore their new home. Upstairs, things got even stranger. Each bedroom held its unique charm. The master bedroom offered breathtaking views of the trees rustling outside. But there were hints of mystery too. Doors that sometimes stuck or creaked loudly when opened. And odd sounds that echoed in the silent hours of night made sleep elusive for Sarah during those first few nights. The attic felt particularly laden with stories waiting to unravel themselves. Dusty beams stretched across a high ceiling, and cobwebs hung in every corner like forgotten memories draped in silver thread. It was a space full of forgotten treasures, but also cloaked in shadows that made Sarah's heart flutter with both hope and trepidation. Despite these quirks that sent shivers down her spine, Sarah couldn't help but fall in love with this house even more every day. She imagined how much laughter could fill its rooms and how many memories they would create together as a family. The thought kept her motivated. The idea of turning this place into their very own sanctuary. Yet sometimes, late at night when everything was quiet and still, she would find herself gazing at the walls as if they might speak back to her. Was there something hidden beneath layers of paint? What stories did they hold? The thought thrilled and terrified her all at once. It became a gentle tug in her mind, a mystery calling out for attention. As she sat on the porch one evening watching fireflies dance through twilight air, Sarah reminded herself why she chose this house despite its imperfections. It represented hope, a chance for new beginnings amidst life's challenges. Each creak of wood beneath their feet told their own story, and soon enough, she believed theirs would weave beautifully into its tapestry. Little did she know that beyond excitement lay discoveries beyond imagination. Discoveries intertwined with their journey as a family in a house filled with hidden gems waiting to be uncovered. The sun shone brightly through the attic window as Sarah organized boxes filled with forgotten toys and old decorations. Dust motes floated lazily in the warm light, creating a magical atmosphere that made her feel like she was sifting through time itself. Mia and Noah had scampered off to explore another part of the attic, leaving Sarah to her thoughts. She smiled at their laughter echoing around her, but her attention was focused on the task at hand. As she pulled open yet another box that held a jumble of items from the past, she felt a mixture of nostalgia and curiosity. Old stuffed animals, faded photographs, and clothes from another era spilled out before her. With each item, she wondered about the lives of the people who once called this house their home. What stories did they have? What dreams had they chased? Just as Sarah began to feel overwhelmed by memories of her own life, she noticed something unusual in the far corner of the attic, something she hadn't seen before. Behind a stack of boxes sat an old door that seemed to blend into the wall. It was small and worn, with peeling paint and rusty hinges that hinted it hadn't been opened in years. A shiver ran down her spine as she approached. This hidden door felt like a secret waiting to be uncovered. "Hey, guys, come check this out," Sarah called to her children, excitement bubbling up inside her. She couldn't believe she had missed it before. How could such a significant piece of history remain hidden for so long? Mia and Noah rushed over, their eyes widening in wonder at what their mom had found. "What is it?" Noah asked, peering closely at the door. "I don't know yet," Sarah replied, glancing back at him and then returning her gaze to the mysterious entrance. "But it looks like it hasn't been opened in ages." As they gathered around her, Sarah felt a mix of emotions swirling within her. Curiosity danced with fear as she placed her hand on the doorknob. Would something amazing await them inside, or would it be empty like so many other forgotten spaces? Her heart raced as she turned the knob ever so slightly. It creaked ominously in protest, but didn't budge. "Is it locked?" Mia asked, pressing close beside her. "I think it might be," Sarah said softly, feeling a twinge of disappointment. But then she noticed something. A small latch on the side that looked like it hadn't seen light in years. With newfound determination, Sarah reached for it and lifted it gently. The latch clicked open with surprising ease. "Ready?" Sarah asked her children, who nodded eagerly, but with wide eyes filled with both excitement and apprehension. Taking a deep breath to steady herself, Sarah pushed against the door. It swung open slowly with a soft groan that echoed through the attic like an ancient whisper. The darkness beyond seemed thick and mysterious, a void waiting to reveal its secrets. "Should we go in?" Noah asked hesitantly, his voice barely above a whisper. "Of course, we have to see what's inside." Sarah encouraged them with enthusiasm while feeling a flutter of nerves in her stomach. The adventure was calling them forward. With each step into the dimly lit room beyond the threshold, excitement surged through Sarah's veins, while anxiety danced alongside it. The musty scent hit them first. An aroma of old wood mingled with something sweet yet stale, as if time had preserved every moment within these walls. As their eyes adjusted to the low light, they began to take in their surroundings. Shelves lined with dusty books whose spines were cracked from age. Furniture covered in white sheets that looked like ghosts frozen in time. And items scattered everywhere that seemed to tell stories begging to be heard. "Look at all this stuff," Mia exclaimed, darting forward to inspect an old trunk resting against one wall. Sarah's heart swelled with pride at how quickly her children adapted to this new world before them, their curiosity sparking just as much joy as hers did. Together, they moved further into the room, uncovering treasures long forgotten, trinkets from bygone eras and objects that hinted at lives once lived here. But amid their discoveries lurked an unsettling feeling for Sarah as well. There was something almost sacred about this hidden space that made her pause. Could this room hold secrets better left undisturbed? Was there more than just dust hiding behind these walls? Regardless of those worries, a sense of wonder enveloped them all, the thrill of discovery overshadowing any fears that lingered in Sarah's mind. This hidden room promised adventures yet untold and connections waiting to be made. Not just with those who had come before, but even deeper connections within themselves as they explored what lay ahead together as a family. As they ventured deeper into this newfound realm, brimming with possibilities, Sarah realized that uncovering this hidden room could change everything for them. A chance not only for exploration, but also for healing old wounds left by life's challenges, and perhaps even finding joy in embracing new beginnings within its shadows. As Sarah pushed the door open, a rush of cool air enveloped them, carrying with it the scent of aged wood and dust. The room beyond was dimly lit, with only a few rays of sunlight breaking through the cracks in the boarded-up windows. It felt as if time had stood still within these walls, waiting for someone to discover its secrets. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Sarah stepped inside, followed closely by Mia and Noah. They squinted into the shadows, taking in the sight before them. The room was filled with dusty furniture draped in white sheets like ghosts from another era. Sarah's heart raced. It felt like stepping into a forgotten world. "Wow," Noah exclaimed, his voice echoing softly as he ventured further into the room. "Look at this." He pointed to an old trunk sitting against one wall, its once bright red paint now faded to a dull maroon. Curiosity sparked in Sarah's chest as she moved closer, brushing her fingers over its surface. The trunk was locked, but it was adorned with intricate metalwork that hinted at stories locked away inside. Mia wandered over to a small table covered with strange objects. "What are these?" she asked, picking up a delicate porcelain figurine of a lady in a flowing dress. Its features were detailed, and it seemed to capture a moment frozen in time. She held it up to the light, marveling at how beautiful it was despite the dust that clung to it. "They must have belonged to someone who lived here long ago," Sarah said, feeling a surge of connection to the previous occupants of the house. Maybe they were part of their everyday life. As they explored further, they uncovered a dusty bookshelf lined with books whose spines had cracked from age. Titles faded from view were barely legible, yet Sarah could see they ranged from classic literature to books about gardening and travel. There was something about these forgotten stories that made her heart swell with nostalgia. She could almost hear the whispers of those who had read them long before her. "Can we read one?" Noah asked eagerly. "Let's take a couple home and clean them up first," Sarah suggested, already imagining cozy evenings curled up on the couch together, diving into the adventures hidden within those pages. In one corner of the room stood an old rocking chair that looked like it hadn't been sat in for years. It rocked gently as if inviting them to share their own stories while cradled in its embrace. Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of comfort wash over her as she imagined herself sitting there, telling her children tales of bravery and hope. Amidst the intriguing items scattered about, something else caught Sarah's eye. A faded photograph resting on top of an antique dresser covered in dust. She carefully picked it up and brushed off the layer of grime. The image showed a family, 2 parents and 3 children, smiling broadly at the camera, their joy evident even through the passage of time. "Who are they?" Mia asked, peering over her mother's shoulder. "I don't know," Sarah replied softly. "But they were once part of this house's story." She felt a pang of longing. She wished she could learn more about their lives and what had brought them joy or sorrow. Next to the photograph lay an old diary, its leather cover cracked but still intact. Sarah opened it carefully, revealing pages filled with elegant handwriting. As she flipped through the yellowed sheets, she spotted entries describing everyday life. The trials and tribulations of raising children during tough times, dreams of travel, and moments of laughter shared over simple meals. Each word seemed to breathe life into the past. "Mom, look at this," Noah called out excitedly from across the room, drawing Sarah's attention away from the diary. He was standing beside a large mirror covered with a dusty sheet. Eagerly pulling off the fabric, he revealed an ornate frame that gleamed in the light. The glass was smudged, but still reflected their curious faces back at them. "It's so pretty," he exclaimed. "It really is," Sarah agreed, feeling a sense of wonder wash over her as she looked into the mirror. It felt as if they were glimpsing into history itself, a portal connecting them not just to the house's past, but also to their own future. With each discovery in this hidden room, Sarah felt more connected to both her family and those who walked these floors long ago. This space held remnants of lives lived fully and stories waiting for new chapters to be written. It became clear that this hidden room wasn't just an attic full of old things. It was a treasure trove of memories that could shape their journey ahead. The thrill of adventure surged through her veins as she realized they had uncovered something truly special. A chance to explore not only the history of their home, but also their place within its story. As they delved deeper into these discoveries together, Sarah knew they would find ways to weave their own dreams into the tapestry of this remarkable space filled with echoes from the past. As Sarah flipped through the pages of the old diary, she became increasingly engrossed in the lives of the previous owners. The elegant handwriting revealed a young mother, Eliza, who had lived in the house many years before her. Eliza's entries took her through the joys and struggles of daily life, raising children, managing a household, and balancing dreams with reality. One entry caught Sarah's eye. It described a particularly hard winter when food was scarce. Eliza wrote about her anxiety and fear of not being able to provide for her family. Reading those lines struck a chord within Sarah. She too often felt overwhelmed by financial worries and the stress of being a single mom. It was comforting, yet sobering, to know that someone else had faced similar challenges in this very home. "Mom, look at this." Noah's voice pulled her from her thoughts as he uncovered a small box tucked away in the corner. It was filled with letters tied together with a faded ribbon. The writing on the envelopes was familiar, the same elegant script that adorned the diary pages. "Those are letters from Eliza," Sarah exclaimed, her heart racing with excitement. She carefully untied the ribbon and opened one of the envelopes. As she read, aloud, the words painted vivid images of love and longing. Eliza had written to her sister about her hopes for brighter days and dreams of adventures beyond their small town. "Can we read more?" Mia asked eagerly, leaning closer to catch every word. "Absolutely," Sarah replied, feeling an unexpected bond forming between them and this long-gone family. Each letter revealed snippets about Eliza's life. Her aspirations to become an artist, her love for painting landscapes that surrounded their home, and how she yearned to travel but felt trapped by responsibilities. The more they uncovered, the more Sarah felt connected to Eliza's dreams. Like Sarah, Eliza struggled with balancing personal ambitions while caring for her children. This realization ignited something within Sarah, a desire not just to provide for Mia and Noah, but also to inspire them to pursue their own passions. "Mom," Noah said thoughtfully, as they continued reading one particularly poignant letter where Eliza expressed doubt about whether she was doing enough for her children. "Do you ever feel like that?" Sarah paused for a moment and nodded slowly. "Sometimes I do," she admitted. "But reading about Eliza shows me that it's okay to have those feelings." As they delved deeper into the letters and diary entries, they discovered more about the family's history. Eliza's husband had been a local carpenter known for his craftsmanship around town. Sarah could almost picture him working late into the night in his workshop on pieces that would last generations. One letter revealed how he had built a small wooden playhouse for their children in the backyard during one summer filled with laughter and sunshine. That playful detail made Sarah smile wistfully as she realized how much joy simple moments could bring, a reminder she needed in her own busy life. Yet alongside these happy memories lay heartbreak. There were entries lamenting lost loved ones and hardships faced by their family over time. In one somber letter, Eliza wrote about sending one of her children away for health reasons, a decision filled with anguish but made out of love. The raw emotion in those words resonated powerfully with Sarah as she thought of her own sacrifices as a single mother, trying to do what was best for her kids amidst life's challenges. This connection deepened as she began to see herself reflected in Eliza's journey. With each new discovery came revelations, not just about the house's history, but also about herself. Inspired by Eliza's strength and vulnerability, passion for art, and dedication as a mother, Sarah felt motivated to embrace both her role as a parent and her desire to pursue creativity again. "Let's turn this room into our own special place," Sarah suggested excitedly after reading several letters together. "It can be where we create art or write stories." Mia's eyes lit up at this idea, while Noah nodded eagerly in agreement. This hidden room could become a sanctuary not only filled with memories of those who came before, but also a space where they could dream together, moving forward. As they began sorting through more treasures within that dusty room, finding forgotten toys packed away long ago or relics from past celebrations, Sarah realized these discoveries weren't merely remnants left behind. They were threads connecting their lives today with those who lived here before them. Each object unearthed carried whispers of resilience woven through time, a testament to how love perseveres despite obstacles life throws our way. And it inspired Sarah not only to cherish what was, but also aspire towards what could be. In this hidden room brimming with secrets waiting to be uncovered, They found not just items from another era, but stories waiting patiently for new chapters. Stories that would weave together their lives into something beautiful amidst laughter, hope, and adventure as they built their future within these walls filled with echoes from the past. As Sarah and her children continued to explore the hidden room, a sense of excitement filled the air. With the sun gradually slipping lower in the sky, the light cast warm golden hues across the dust motes floating in the stillness. Each discovery deepened their connection to Eliza and her family. But for Sarah, it felt like more than just a journey through the past. It was an opportunity for self-reflection about her life choices and aspirations. With each dusty object they unearthed, Sarah's mind drifted into contemplation. She sat in the old rocking chair, which creaked softly beneath her weight, and thought about all the dreams she had once held close, dreams of pursuing art, writing stories, and starting her own small business. Over time, those dreams had seemed to fade into the background as the responsibilities of parenthood consumed her. But looking around this secret space, where echoes of Eliza's life lingered, made her realize that perhaps it wasn't too late to rekindle those passions. The diary, filled with hopes and struggles, felt like a mirror reflecting Sarah's own journey. Eliza had jotted down her frustrations about feeling overwhelmed by family life while yearning for something more. Reading those words opened a floodgate of emotion for Sarah. She too often battled feelings of inadequacy as she tried to balance her duties as a single mother with her desires. In sharing these vulnerabilities through written words, Eliza had unknowingly gifted Sarah newfound courage. "Mom?" Mia's voice startled Sarah from her thoughts. "Do you think we can paint in here, like Eliza?" The question struck a chord within her. What if they transformed this room into their creative haven? Ideas began swirling in Sarah's mind, a place where they could paint their adventures on canvas or write stories that reflected their lives together. It would be a space filled not only with art, but laughter and hope, a reminder that dreams are worth chasing. "Yes, we can definitely paint in here," Sarah replied enthusiastically. The idea felt liberating, a chance to breathe life into both their memories and aspirations together as a family. Finding Eliza's paints nestled among other forgotten treasures further fueled Sarah's excitement. The dried-up tubes elicited giggles from Noah as he jokingly called them dinosaur art supplies, imagining what colors once flew out of them. As laughter echoed through the hidden room, Sarah could see how easily creativity could weave itself back into their lives. Reflecting on her own choices during moments of silence between discoveries, Sarah contemplated the sacrifices she often made for her children. A balance existed between providing stability for Mia and Noah and nurturing her dreams. But she had neglected herself for far too long. Just as Eliza had needed to find ways to pursue painting despite challenges, so did she. Flipping through the letters once more made Sarah acutely aware of how dreams intertwine with everyday responsibilities. Life's joy often lay in those small moments spent creating memories. Whether it was painting together or simply telling stories at bedtime. Inspired by Eliza's journey, yet grounded in her own reality, Sarah began to envision ways she'd nurture both herself and her children. "Let's make this our art studio," she announced suddenly, excitement bubbling over as she claimed ownership of what could be their new beginning. "It will be our place to create." Her children nodded ardently. After all, they had already uncovered enough treasures to decorate their imaginations with stories just waiting to be told. As they removed sheets from furniture, brushed off layers of dust, and transformed the space into something vibrant, Sarah found strength in her commitment, not only to carving space for art, but also embracing who they were becoming as a family. The creative journey ahead held promise, a chance for growth that transcended age and circumstances. Later that evening, as they sat amidst empty canvases, awaiting colorful strokes amid laughter and chatter vibrating through those ancient walls, Sarah realized what started as mere exploration had become much deeper than discovery alone. It introduced transformation fueled by love shared among them. "This room isn't just about painting or writing," she said softly. "It represents who we are becoming." Her children smiled knowingly. It resonated with each moment spent among remnants left by others who dared to dream amidst difficult times. In uncovering tales from Eliza's past, woven carefully between letters, photographs, and dusty treasures hidden away long ago, their exploration evolved into a journey of self-discovery that reshaped not just walls, but their entire family dynamic moving forward. This hidden space had awakened something powerful within them all, a recognition that life is defined not by challenges alone, but by dreams waiting patiently beneath layers gathered over time, ready now to break free like brilliant colors bursting forth onto a clean canvas, longing for expression. With newfound clarity shining bright in their hearts like rays from twilight outside fading day, they resolved, together, they'd create beauty in every turn along this artistic path ahead. Hand in hand, translating wishes into reality, painted bold across every blank page of tomorrow. The transformation of the hidden room into their creative haven became a family project, and Sarah was determined to involve Mia and Noah in every step. It wasn't just about painting or crafting, it was about bonding, sharing experiences, and passing down the importance of history and creativity. The first afternoon spent in the room was filled with laughter and excitement. They cleared away the dust-laden furniture, revealing beautiful old pieces that only needed a little care to shine again. "Look at this," Noah shouted, pulling off the sheet from an old table. Its wooden surface gleamed beneath the layers of dust, showing signs of intricate carvings along the edges. "Wow, it's like finding treasure," Mia added, her eyes sparkling with delight as she ran her fingers over the carvings. Sarah smiled, watching her children's faces light up with discovery. It reminded her of how important it was to explore not just this room, but also their own imaginations. "Let's think about what we could do with this space," Sarah suggested as they began rearranging furniture to create a more inviting atmosphere. "We could paint here, tell stories, or even have art sessions." Mia's brows furrowed for a moment as she thought. "Can we also find out more about Eliza?" she asked curiously, eager to learn about the woman whose life had intertwined with theirs through these discoveries. "Absolutely," Sarah replied enthusiastically. "In fact, why don't we all take turns reading from her diary? We can learn about her life and how she felt while living here." Settling down on the floor with a diary spread open before them, like a map to a hidden land, they began reading one entry together. Eliza described a summer day when her children played in the garden, laughter spilling into every corner of their yard. As Sarah read aloud, she encouraged them to imagine what it must have been like. A vibrant world filled with joy. "What would you guys be doing if you lived here then?" Sarah asked playfully. "I'd be climbing trees," Noah exclaimed without hesitation. "And I'd be picking flowers for my mom." Mia giggled, spinning tales that brought smiles to their faces. As they continued exploring Eliza's world through her writings and letters, Sarah noticed how engaged her children became in learning about both Eliza's triumphs and struggles. They discussed Eliza's dreams of becoming an artist and how she sometimes felt overwhelmed by everyday life. Feelings that were all too familiar for Sarah herself. "Mom, Mia said thoughtfully after reading one poignant entry where Eliza expressed doubt about being enough for her children. Do you ever feel like that? Taking a deep breath, Sarah nodded gently. Sometimes I do, she admitted softly. But learning about Eliza helps me remember that it's okay to have those feelings. This opened up discussions about vulnerability, teaching Mia and Noah that it was normal to experience doubts while still pursuing dreams or ambitions. They shared their own feelings, including moments of uncertainty at school or within friendships. And together, they created an atmosphere filled with understanding and support. Let's make a wall of our dreams here, Noah shouted suddenly as new energy surged through him like electricity. We can write down things we want to do or create. Yes, that sounds amazing, Mia cheered, clapping her hands in excitement. With newfound enthusiasm, they set off collecting supplies. Old cardboard boxes from their home transformed into canvases for dreams waiting to blossom like flowers under sunlight. Each child took turns writing down aspirations. Noah wanted to become an astronaut who explored new planets. Mia dreamed of being an artist, painting magical landscapes. And Sarah wrote about starting her own business, selling handmade artwork and stories. As they decorated their wall with colorful drawings representing each dream alongside snippets from Eliza's diary entries, their connection deepened further. A tapestry woven together from threads of hope spanning generations. Amidst laughter shared in moments spent working together, the spirit of creativity awoke within them all. It became clear that this space was no longer simply an attic room filled with forgotten objects. It morphed into something much more profound. A place where memories would be created anew, alongside echoes from Eliza's past. The lessons learned within these walls went beyond art. They embraced resilience, as families often weave into existence magic amidst challenges faced daily. They discovered how valuable it is not just to dream, but also share those dreams openly. To support one another along paths explored collectively, as family members bound together by love. On particularly rainy afternoons, when droplets danced against windows like nature's applause, they gathered around old tables covered in blank canvases, eagerly painting stories yet untold. Creating masterpieces infused with unique facets, intricately belonging only to them, while carrying forth reminders rooted deeply in history, discovered alongside laughter shared among loved ones. Through uncovering more pieces of Eliza's life and involving one another in this journey, they formed bonds stronger than ever before. Realizing that each discovery led them toward building their very own legacy, filled with creativity, hope, to remind each other always. Every dream deserves nurturing despite uncertainties life may present along its path ahead. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah and her children continued to find joy in their newly transformed creative haven. The hidden room became a sanctuary of colors and stories, a place where laughter rang out like music and memories were painted onto canvas. Each afternoon after school, they would gather to embark on new adventures within those walls, their imaginations soaring as they shared ideas and dreams. One rainy Saturday, as thunder rumbled softly outside, Sarah decided it would be the perfect day for an art session. Let's create our own storybook, she suggested, excitement bubbling within her. Mia and Noah agreed enthusiastically, eager to bring their colorful characters and imaginative plots to life. They gathered supplies, paints, brushes, and stacks of paper, ready to dive into this new project. As they sat surrounded by their artwork, an unexpected knock echoed through the house, startling them. Sarah glanced at Mia and Noah, puzzled. Who could be visiting on a day like this? She wondered aloud. Leaving the room in search of answers, she opened the front door cautiously. Standing on the porch was an elderly woman wrapped in a warm shawl, her gray hair swept back neatly. She smiled kindly, but also appeared slightly nervous. "Hello, dear," she said softly. "I'm Mrs. Thompson, the neighbor from across the street. I hope I'm not intruding." "No, not at all," Sarah replied with a welcoming smile. "Please come in. It's quite cozy today." As Mrs. Thompson stepped inside, Sarah couldn't help but notice the twinkle in the older woman's eyes as she glanced around the hallway, lined with family pictures and knickknacks. "What a lovely home you have," Mrs. Thompson remarked. "It reminds me so much of my own childhood." Curiosity piqued, Sarah invited her into the living room. They settled comfortably as Mia and Noah joined them, intrigued by their visitor. The atmosphere shifted when Sarah mentioned finding the hidden room in the attic. "Ah, the hidden room!" Mrs. Thompson gasped, her eyes widening with recognition. "That place has a story of its own." Intrigued, Sarah leaned in closer. "What do you mean? What do you know about it?" Mrs. Thompson cleared her throat, her gaze drifting into the distance as though lost in memories long past. "I played there as a child," she began slowly. "Eliza was my dear friend, the woman you've read about in her diary." The revelation sent chills down Sarah's spine as she listened intently to tales of adventures shared by Eliza and Mrs. Thompson in that very room where they had found so many treasures. It became clear that they had shared laughter, games, and even tears, their childhoods interwoven within those same walls. After Eliza passed away, Mrs. Thompson continued with a hint of sadness in her voice, the house fell silent for years, until it became your home. A gentle smile spread across her face as she looked at the children creating art around them. "I'm glad to see it filled with life again." Mia's eyes lit up with excitement as she asked, "Did you know Eliza well? What was she like?" With warmth in her voice, Mrs. Thompson shared anecdotes about Eliza, their dreams as children, and how they inspired each other to reach for the stars even when life felt challenging. But then came the twist. Mrs. Thompson revealed that there were still belongings of Eliza stored away in a small shed behind their old home across the street. "I've kept them safe all these years," she said softly. "Perhaps you'd like to see them." A spark ignited in Sarah's heart. This was an opportunity to learn even more about Eliza's life, something that could enrich not only their understanding of their home's history, but also inspire their own creativity further. "I'd love that," Sarah exclaimed eagerly. Soon after, with Noah and Mia trailing closely behind her, they followed Mrs. Thompson to her house, hearts racing with anticipation of what they might discover next. When they arrived at the shed, Mrs. Thompson found the key hidden under a flower pot near the door and handed it over to Sarah with a smile. With one turn of the key, they opened the rusty wooden door to reveal a treasure trove of forgotten items. Old paintings done by Eliza herself, boxes filled with art supplies, long preserved and untouched by time, and even bundles of letters tied with yellowing ribbons. "Wow, this is amazing," Noah shouted in awe as he sifted through a box filled with vibrant paints that almost seemed to sparkle under the shed's dim light. "This could be like discovering Eliza's lost world," Mia whispered excitedly, barely able to contain her joy. With Mrs. Thompson guiding them through each piece, sharing stories about what they once meant to Eliza, the room soon transformed into a buzzing hive of inspiration. Inspired by what they had found, and fueled by stories from Eliza's past and Mrs. Thompson's insights, the family sensed something larger at work here, a connection beyond just creative expression, bonding them deeply to those who came before, while opening doors leading toward uncharted dreams, waiting patiently for exploration. As rain continued to patter against the roof above them, a symbol of growth upon growth, they realized how intertwined both their lives and Eliza's had become. Everything had unfolded perfectly up until now, guiding them toward newfound opportunities together. In that moment of discovery, amid laughter shared with neighbors, turned friends. Imagination brewed hot in each child's heart. It felt like fate reminding them that life is rich when explored hand in hand with love. After the exciting day of uncovering Eliza's belongings with Mrs. Thompson, Sarah and her children felt a renewed sense of purpose for the hidden room. It was no longer just a dusty space filled with forgotten items. It had transformed into a canvas for their creativity and connection. A place where they could celebrate their shared dreams and memories together. With fresh energy buzzing in the air, Sarah gathered Mia and Noah to discuss how they could make this room truly special. "Let's create a bright, inspiring space where we can express ourselves," she suggested, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Can we paint the walls?" Noah asked eagerly. "Absolutely. I was thinking we could do something that reflects all of us," Sarah replied, imagining vibrant colors that would enliven the room and nurture their creativity. "Maybe a mural that shows our dreams, just like Eliza inspired us to do." As they brainstormed, the children suggested ideas for the mural. Noah wanted to include planets and stars because he dreamed of being an astronaut, while Mia envisioned painting shapes of flowers and trees, symbolizing her love for nature and art. Sarah proposed adding silhouettes of their family together, surrounded by elements that represented their passions. The plan felt exciting and full of potential. They decided to dedicate one Saturday to the transformation process. Their mission was not only to paint, but also to turn the hidden room into a gallery, showcasing their creations, a personal treasure trove of memories filled with hope for the future. On Transformation Day, they gathered supplies, large brushes, rollers, and buckets of paint in shades of blue, green, and warm yellow, colors that evoked feelings of joy and inspiration. As they worked together, each stroke of the brush helped build not just a mural, but also deeper bonds among them. "Mom, look at this," Mia cried out as she painted a colorful flower with bold petals. "It looks so happy." "It really does," Sarah agreed, smiling at how her daughter's joy burst forth on the canvas. In that moment, she felt proud of Mia's eagerness to express herself. As the hours passed and laughter filled the room, they painted stories onto the walls. Noah meticulously added stars surrounding his planets, while Sarah guided them both on mixing colors and techniques. With each addition to their mural, emerged memories reflected in vibrant hues, moments of laughter, shared ideas, and endless creativity that prompted newfound hope for the future. When they finally stepped back to admire their work after several hours, the room looked transformed. The once dusty space now radiated warmth. It was alive with color and meaning. The mural stretched across the walls like a promise, a reminder that they could hold on to their dreams while discovering who they were becoming as a family. "This is amazing," Noah exclaimed, eyes wide with wonder as he took in his surroundings. Mia clapped her hands excitedly. "It feels like a real art studio." Sarah marveled at what they had created together. A sanctuary, rich with memories rooted deep in laughter and emotions. Yet it wasn't finished. There remained pieces waiting patiently to be included in this narrative tapestry. Inspired by Eliza's legacy, Sarah decided to build a small shelf along one wall to display their artwork. paintings from their artistic afternoons, drawings they'd created during rainy days, and even the treasures from Eliza's past that now felt like part of their family story. "Let's decorate this shelf," Sarah suggested when they returned from gathering old picture frames and art supplies for displaying their work. With each framed piece carefully placed in its spot, the room turned into more than just an art space. It became a gallery filled with heart, each item telling a story woven into their shared journey. As they arranged everything lovingly, Sarah felt infused with gratitude. This hidden room was evolving into an embodiment of resilience, an inspiring beacon reminding them that life is about embracing dreams and supporting one another through challenges faced along the way. Their creative haven became a reflection of not just who they were, but who they aspired to be. A safe space where imagination thrived alongside memories made together. With hope soaring anew within those walls painted by love, Sarah knew this transformation was only the beginning. There were future adventures waiting to unfold, stories yearning for expression, with every brushstroke on canvas promising opportunity ahead, as they built a legacy meant to endure time. As dusk fell outside, cascading golden light spilled through the window, illuminating their creation. The mural twinkled vibrantly against fading light, and Sarah sent a silent word of thanks to Eliza for guiding them to this hidden treasure trove where dreams lived freely. Together, they stood hand in hand, hearts filled with warmth as they embraced not only what this room had become, but also what lay ahead. New opportunities awaiting exploration and love blossoming always amid challenges. Unearthing brighter paths towards making every moment count along their journey forward as family bound together by dreams nurtured within this beautiful secret space they'd created. As the vibrant colors of the mural settled into place and their artwork lined the walls of the hidden room, Sarah took a moment to breathe deeply, absorbing the atmosphere of joy and creativity that enveloped them. This space had transformed from a forgotten attic to a lively sanctuary where dreams intertwined and memories flourished alongside laughter. Reflecting on how their journey had unfolded, Sarah felt an indescribable gratitude swell within her heart. Just months ago, she had stepped into this house filled with uncertainties and worries. Balancing the responsibilities of a single mother while yearning for time to pursue her passions had felt daunting. But discovering the hidden door changed everything. Behind that door lay not just Eliza's forgotten treasures, but also opportunities that ignited a spark within Sarah. A chance to bond more deeply with Mia and Noah. It was astounding how quickly their lives had shifted. "We didn't just find a room," Sarah mused aloud, glancing at her children who were happily rearranging their latest creations. "We found a part of ourselves, a connection to our history as well as to each other." Mia paused her sorting and looked up at her mother, her eyes shining with wonder. "Eliza would be happy to see us using this room for dreams," she said thoughtfully. "Yeah," Noah nodded vigorously. "I love our new art room. We can make so many things." Sarah smiled at their enthusiasm, realizing how much they had learned together, not just about art, but about the importance of embracing emotions and vulnerability. Sharing Eliza's legacy had allowed them to uncover their own strengths. Each brushstroke on the canvas echoed lessons of resilience passed down through generations, an unfolding story born out of hope. As Sarah surveyed the room filled with artworks and their family photos, she suddenly understood that this space represented far more than mere creativity. It symbolized love and support woven into every nook, the very essence of family. She remembered moments spent reading Eliza's diary and letters, feeling a bond that transcended time as she reflected on Eliza's fears, dreams, and aspirations. It was astonishing how connected they felt to a woman who lived in a different era, faced challenges that mirrored their own, yet persevered through them. Those words served as guideposts on Sarah's journey, as reminders that purpose exists even amid hardship. Now, as she stood before the mural they had painted together, Sarah recognized it encapsulated all they aimed to achieve. Not just beautiful art, but newfound hopes for stronger futures ahead. This mural was bright, vivid proof that despite life's struggles, creativity could flourish just as easily as flowers breaking through concrete. With every brushstroke that cast shadows across the wall, each color chosen intentionally for its warmth or vibrancy. Sarah knew they were not just decorating a room. They were establishing a legacy, a reminder that dreams should never be put aside. They needed nurturing like gardens, requiring sunlight and rain. "Mom, can we invite friends over for an art party?" Noah asked suddenly, his excitement bubbling over again. "Absolutely. That would be amazing," Sarah affirmed. The thought thrilled her. This room could become a gathering place for others to experience creativity and connection also. A haven where friends could share ideas and inspire one another. Envisioning neighborhood kids joining them in their creative space sent a wave of hope rolling through her. What if they all created something together? This room could bloom into an artistic community hub. It echoed Eliza's spirit, ready to impact lives anew. As days turned into weeks, they utilized every inch of the transformed hidden room, inviting friends over often to enjoy hosted painting sessions where giggles resounded harmoniously with colors spilled on canvas. The sense of accomplishment deepened family bonds. And soon, friendships flourished, rooted in creativity shared among neighbors and their children. Sarah couldn't believe how far they had come since unearthing Eliza's belongings. It illustrated the profound impact of intertwining lives within these walls, where echoes resonated with laughter, creating moments stretching beyond imagination. One evening, after all guests had left and candles flickered around hanging art pieces, illuminating vibrantly against dusk's embrace, Sarah nestled down next to Mia and Noah on the floor as they thumbed through some recently created artwork. "Do you remember what it was like before we found this room?" she asked gently. They exchanged glances filled with excited recollection. The sense of unease, now long replaced by solidarity, built through challenges faced together as family. "It was quiet," Noah ventured thoughtfully. Mia added quietly, "But now it feels like home." In that moment, cluttered with paint strewn about and remnants scattered like memories of laughter layered thick. Sarah closed her eyes, gratefully feeling enveloped in warmth. It struck her profoundly. Uncovering this hidden room didn't merely change their living space. It greatly shifted their existence altogether. Together, hand in hand beneath the soft glow illuminating art. They realized what started as an exploration through history transformed into something boundless yet tangible. A path leading toward newfound opportunities, illuminated by hope forged within love. A legacy etched against canvas captures from time beneath jubilant brushes, dancing freely toward shores unknown, still waiting ahead for them all together, yet to be discovered.